Hello and welcome back to the channel, and for those of you that are new, welcome to the channel. Well, this video today is going to be all about the lights, and we've picked a time. It's still about dusk time in the UK here, around about probably about 7:30, 8 o'clock, so the sun's just kind of setting. You probably can't see it from this angle, but if I pan round you'll see the sun's just going down in the back there. Look at that, a bit of synchro sun. Very lovely, and got some beautiful colours there, look at those. Anyway, this video is all about the lights, and we're just going to go through the lights. And we've been through on video 9, we've been all through the different switches and what have you that work the lights. So I'm sure if you've watched video number 9, you will know which switch does what. And if you haven't watched video number 9, what are you waiting for? Stick this on pause and go watch it. But anyway, yeah, but what we're going to do on this video, it's all about lights. We're going to show you the actual lights so you can see the lights when they come on, rather than show you the switches and buttons that we showed you last time and didn't actually show you the lights working. We thought we'd put the lights on and show you the lights working. So that's the idea of this video, just to give you an idea of what the lights are like, how bright they are, and with the indicators and the side lights and how they work. So you can actually see them when it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's dusk, but certainly it's starting to draw in now, around about 8 o'clock in the evening, maybe on a summer's evening here in end of August in UK. And you should get an idea of how bright the lights are and how well they show up in the dusk. We've done a couple of videos. We were asked a few videos back, quite a few videos back, if we could do some light demonstrations in the evening or at night, so that you could see what sort of light the lights actually give out onto the road. We did that, and then we had some comments saying that oh, you can't see much of the bike. Well, no, the idea was the video was about the lights. It wasn't about seeing the bike, it was seeing how much light the lights give off onto the road, how much of the road you light up, and how well the bike, the lights in the bike could be seen. And ultimately the bike could be seen in the distance and driving past and indicating and so on. So we've already done that. May do perhaps a better one with now we've got better equipment, video equipment. We might do a better one at some point in the future, but there's lots of things to do. So yeah, this video is all about the lights. So let's get just jump straight in here, and what we'll do, we'll show you the different lights. Okay, so the first lights we're going to show you are the standard lights that come with the bike, and we've got a separate switch just down here for those lights because we've obviously changed the display. So those lights are no longer controlled by the display. So let's move round to the front, and you can see this is the standard Super73 headlight, and that's fairly bright. They're very good headlights. Certainly light the road up well. One of the things we've noticed a lot of videos from people and pictures and stuff is the light's not at the right angle. So let's go right down here and just show you what sort of angle the light should be at. And that's quite important. It's very important at night, because the light needs to not dazzle somebody who's coming towards you, but it also needs to light the road up for you to see where you're going, and enough time to do something about if you have a pothole or something in the road. You need to be able to see what it is before it gets on top of you. So this is pretty much the correct angle, and if you look at the horizon in the background there, if I hold this camera steady, you can see against the horizon the sort of angle that the light is facing down at, and that's, say, very important. So you've got this, there's the horizon there, just show you that, let's try and, there we go, that's the horizon, and then this is the angle of the headlight, probably 30-40 degrees maybe, but that's the sort of angle that you want. So if I follow it down, you can see where it's going to end up. It's going to end up just down there. Try and keep the horizon straight. So that's what you're looking for. You're looking for that 30, 40, 45 degree angle, so that the headlight doesn't end up here on the road, because by the time you see something at night it's too late, you've already hit it, and it doesn't end up way down there, so that the cars coming towards you get dazzled by the light and they can't really see where they're going. It's not fair to them. So let's just take a few paces back and you'll see exactly what we're saying. So you appreciate the bike's on the stand at the moment, so it's not sitting dead level on the floor, and we're on a bit of a slope as well. But that said, you can get the idea. So we're going to take the camera down to sort of car driving position. That's roughly where a car would sit if they were driving towards you. Sitting in the driver's seat, you'd be sitting at this kind of level, the eye line, and you can see that light's not dazzling. If we go further down, it's still not dazzling. Now if we go closer to the bike, maybe here somewhere, and then we drop the camera down, can you see the glare from the lights as we go up and down? You'll see the difference. You should be able to see that glare, and you can see the glare from the headlight, and that is the problem when your headlight's facing straight ahead or not at the correct angle, is you dazzle other drivers, and then of course that actually impairs their vision, and then it's all well and good you having a light, but then they end up driving towards you and you then become a target for them. So yeah, you need to make sure that headlight is set correctly. So that's the front headlight, which is the standard headlight, as I'm sure you know. And let's go round to the back. Now, interestingly enough, on the back of the bike here, what we've done is we've connected the brake lights and the side lights together. So our backlights are brighter than the original standard backlights, albeit they're the same lights. We've just connected the brake and the side lights together because, simple reason is we've got separate brake lights, which we'll show you in a moment. The other thing you'll notice, maybe if you're familiar with these bikes, is there shouldn't, well, not normally this black piece in the middle here, but that's part of the GoPro mount. So it's kind of, it splits the light into two halves as opposed to one piece. There's only a reflector in the middle. If I go around to the side, you'll see it's just a reflector there, so you're not missing much. We've got enough lights in the bike that it's not making any difference, but that's why it looks different perhaps to a standard backlight. It's because it's being masked by that GoPro mount. So that's the standard lights. So let's turn them off, and then we'll show you the side lights. So we've got side light and indicator or turn signal. I think a lot of you guys say turn signal, it's just fine, that's same thing. We've got side lights and turn indicators, so turn signals fitted to this bike as well, which is a kit we're just putting together for people if they're interested. Mentioned it in the video number 9. It was the last video, or yeah, it'll be several videos back now by the time you watch this. And they have two functions. So the first function is the side lights, so let's put those on, which is this one down here. The other side, this little switch here, push that down, and then that gives a side light. So let's move round now, and that's the side lights there. Just pan up a little bit so you can see the whole bike. And again, they're not glaring, they're not dazzling, they're very, very bright in daylight. They're actually daylight running lights, so they're very intense, but they're not dazzling, which is the main thing. You don't want to be dazzling people coming towards you. You have to consider other people here. But so that's the side lights there at the front, and then we'll move round to the back, and you can see on the rear there, well, these are superb actually, very, 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 very bright. Again, not dazzling, but just very bright. And just the two of those on their own is enough, probably. We've gone overboard a little bit. We said before, you can never have enough lights, so we're always interested in the lights. And we've got something we're looking at doing to the front light actually. I won't say too much now, but we're looking to modify the front light in a fancy way, so that's something to come in the future. So these are indicator side lights, and that's the rear lights. Now what I'm going to do, if I can, is I'm going to show you, and it might be easier on the front, sorry, but we'll try it on the back. I'm going to turn the front indicator on, and you can watch what happens. I'll pull the handlebar towards me. So these are the rear side lights, but when I indicate left, it changes automatically to an indicator, and the right one stays on. I'll turn the indicator off, and you'll see it goes automatically back to a side light. And again, the same with the right hand side, exactly the same thing. And that's the rear indicator, and it goes back again when you turn the indicator off, automatically goes back to the side light. So let's put both indicators on, and then of course what you end up with then, you end up with side lights, and what you end up with, so I should say, both indicators on, you end up with hazard lights, and if you turn them on both at the same time, you get this very nice hazard light on the back there going on, which is quite good. very striking, gets the attention of people behind you. The bleepers are because we fitted additional bleepers just to let us know which indicator that's going left or right, so we don't forget to turn them off. And we still do, because with the helmets that we wear, they're quite insulated, and we still find ourselves pull up at traffic lights and realise, we've had the indicator going for the last quarter of a mile. But anyway, that's the rear side lights there. So let's turn the side lights off. Find the switch. If I can find the switch, it's here. Right, so I'll just show you the indicator. This is the left indicator, just the indicator on its own. And again, from behind, it's very distinctive that you're turning. And because it's progressive, because it's a progressive indicator, even as far back as this, you can still see which way the bike's going to turn, as long as you've selected the right indicator, or let's say the right might be the left, but you've the correct indicator, I should say. Okay, so let's leave that running actually, and we'll walk around to the front and show you the indicator at the front here. And you can see that's the front indicator going there. I'll pan in a bit closer so you can see it. Again, that's progressive. That's just going to give you a nice indicator pattern there. And if I turn the lights on, the side lights on, and now you've got the indicator going as well, you can see what happens if I switch the indicator off. I can reach the switch. If I turn the indicator off, automatically the side light comes back on. So indicator on, side light off, indicator off, side light on. Again, press both together and you get this hazard pattern going on there, which there's several ways you can do this actually. I mean, you can have both together giving you hazards, or you can stagger the hazards, so you can put one on, leave a gap, and then you can put the other one on, so you get one way then the other way, which is probably even better. Get people's attention if you break down or something, or is a bit of a situation, you can always put them on. And let's just turn the side lights back off again on there. Okay, so that's the side lights and indicators. Let's give you a demo of the, well, just before I do that, let's just show you the ordinary backlights. And these are just bog standard cycle lights, but they're very bright, very intense. And if I just press those twice, there's various different patterns. And we've got those either side. And what we've done here is, if you'll notice, one of the lights is facing straight back, which is this one here. And then the next light round is not facing straight back, it's facing out at 45 degrees. And the next one around from that is coming out at probably 80 degrees or something from the side of the bike. And what that means is that when you come to the very side of the bike, especially at night, you've still got illumination from the side. So the whole rear of the bike, from, well, pretty much 180 degrees, you can see the side lights. As we go around, you'll see the middle one get brighter and then the back one get brighter. So that just gives us protection all the way around, because at night, being a black bike, we dress in black as well, as you will know. You need that extra protection for the side, because we found that it was very bright at the front and the back, but the side wasn't really bright at all, and you can almost lose us. And it gives a lot more definition. So if you've got, so we added the extra 4 lights to either side at the back, and we intend, or we plan on this box, on this service box here, the electrical box here, panel here, we've got some white LED lights, which will probably somehow, whether it be horizontal or vertical, we're going to put them on there as well. We may have them all the time on, or we may get amber lights on there all the time, or as marker lights, or we may connect them into the hazard lights that we've got, which is what I'm going to show you now. So we have a switch which is down here. Actually, it's quite good because it's getting quite dark now. And let's press this switch. We've got, I showed this before, we've got a switch here and we've got a button. So the switch turns the hazard on and off, and then the button changes the flash button, and once the hazards are running, you can change. There's about 7 different, maybe 8 different flash patterns you can have. We tend to use the same one, but you can choose many different ones. So put those on for you, and then come around to the front of the bike, and you can see straight away, wow, what a difference that is. Now that is very glaring. That's because it's not something we would ride along with all the time. it's only in a hazard situation where perhaps breakdown, there's an emergency, accident, or maybe that it's a really dark country lane, fast bit of road, 60-70 miles an hour bit of road, say 60 miles an hour in UK, and you've got really fast traffic, and then it's a great way of feeling a little bit safer on the bike, that they can at least see you and they will slow down and they think there's an accident or whatever. But on a push bike, incidentally, there's the rear one, look how bright that is. On a push bike, you are now, a bicycle, cycle, call it what you will, you are allowed, they changed the law in the UK a few years ago, but you are allowed to have flashing lights. You never used to be able to, but you can now legally, so that's actually legally allowed to have that on there, and that's something that's changed. So that's the hazard lights, and of course the only lights left to show you are the front spotlights. So I'll just press that button there and you can see that's the lower front spotlights. They're beasts, they're 125 watt. They do drain the battery, to be fair, quite a bit. We notice nighttime riding, we don't get half as many miles, well, not half as many, but we certainly don't get as many miles as we would out of the batteries without the lights on. So if we're doing a long journey, we perhaps would be a little bit more sparse with those, and just down when it's unlit roads we'd use them, and when it's lit roads we wouldn't. But it's not dark yet, but you can see straight away ahead there how those lights are making a difference. Let's turn them off and turn them back on again, and that gives us a low beam. So that's just a low beam, not as much light on the grass there as you can see, because the first time you turn them on they go to high beam. They're now on low beam, and they're not as glary now either. You can see the beams of light just coming out of those two. But that's a low beam, which is a great way to save battery but still see where you're going. And then if we turn them off and back on again, they give us a strobe, but you can see the strobe very clearly there on the grass ahead. And let's turn around. Now one interesting thing to say, in some other videos it looks like these lights are strobing all the time, and they're not. And what it is, it's the camera, the settings of the camera are picking up the LEDs, because the LEDs are pulsing and you're picking that same frequency wave up, and that gives you the effect of strobing. So let's turn that off now. So there we have it, that's the lights. That's what we have in the way of lights, and hopefully that's given you a little bit of an insight. You can see what we're doing with the lights, give you a few ideas perhaps for yours. It would be good to see as well what you guys have been doing, and any suggestions in terms of lights. We're always open to suggestions. Love lights, great thing. It's funny, I never used to be too bothered about lights, but as we've gone along we've realised that, you know, this old saying, see and be seen, and yeah, wow, again it makes a great difference to nighttime driving, and heavy rain as well, and fog and bad overcast days. And so lights are not just for nighttime, for evening driving, late driving. They're pretty much all the time, and we always have some lights on, and certainly even in the daytime we have the side lights on, and depends on whether there's any country lanes, etc., and what the road conditions and the weather conditions are. But we always have some sort of lights on, and then at night we put the whole lot on pretty much. Two we didn't show you, and we perhaps should have done, and it's something I just forgot actually. This is the brake lights, and there's one either side. If we press and hold these lights for 2 or 3 seconds, it'll flash once. Again, press and hold this one for 2 or 3 seconds, the center there, it flashes once. They're now on, and that's now brake lights. So if I just activate the brake lights, I have to pull the lever around here. I have shown this in another video, but I'll show it again. If I pull the brake lever, you'll see those lights come on, and they're very, very bright. Bit of a flash on that one because that needs charging. These are rechargeable, USB rechargeable. So when the charge gets down, they start to flash sometimes. They're not always receiving the signal as good as perhaps they should. And this is done from a little transmitter that's fixed here to the brake cable. So as the brakes pull, it just puts the lights on there. I'll just show you, push that lever, and they're really intense. Daytime is fantastic, and at night it's like, wow, the guy's stopping, they're stopping. Don't miss those in a hurry, which is great. That's what you want some lights that can be seen. They have got some other features on those. Unfortunately, you can't buy them. They've discontinued, they stopped manufacturing those lights. So we were going to get some more of them. So we're hoping we don't lose these, so they don't ping off or something. We don't lose them, because we have to change the rear brake lights. But they've got some other features. If you press them once and let go, they become white. Press them again, they flash white. Or you can have them, if you press and hold, then they will go off 1, 2, 3, and now that's turned off. And I'll press and hold that, and that'll do 1, 2, 3 and turn off. 1, 2, 3 and turn off. There we go. So that wraps up for this one. hopefully you've seen enough of lights now for a lifetime, but if you haven't got lights on yours or not enough, then please, if you've got one of these bikes, or any bike in fact, doesn't have to be one of these bikes, but if you haven't got any, do get lights on your bike, because you'd be surprised what a difference it makes to your life, and you might not even realise that. And they look good as well, so yeah, get yourself some lights. They're cheap. Lights, LED lights are very cheap, the batteries last for ages, so what are you waiting for? Get some lights. Thank you, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.